evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another episode of HarlequinCasts, Company of Heroes. Today's game is going to be a fun 1 versus 1 on the map Semois. And I'll be honest with you here, Semois is actually my favorite map out there. Not only does it have just a really cool look and feel and kind of story about it, but it also has some fantastic kind of graph theory style interconnectivity of different ways to attack each other, and the fluid dynamics of all the various ways you can kind of come and go on this map are pretty entertaining indeed. So this is, for those of you who watch all of my videos, I love beginning with a nice little cinematic opening here. And I couldn't help but notice that between Company of Heroes Online and me now casting regular Company of Heroes Retail, there was a boat that used to be here. I swear to God, I used to always anchor my camera on this map on a particular boat in the middle of this river. And it's not there anymore. And also there used to be all sorts of lovely really pretty looking white flowers that were growing right here, and for some reason they changed all of that. I guess they upgraded the map for Company of Heroes Online, but that's not what this is using here. So that's unfortunate. It makes me sad. It used to be really pretty. By the way, in case you didn't know it, way up here there's a little tiny beach with another boat, but that's not the boat I'm talking about. Anyhow, enough of this jibber jabber. Let's take a look around the map right now and get to know these players. First off, I wanted to show you the map real quick. Oh no, if I say that, then people will just fast forward to the part where I introduce the players. So let me go ahead and look around at the players first. That's the real way to do this. Up here on the right hand side, controlling the blue pieces for now, we have Mr. KoreanArmy, a fantastic player. I'll go ahead and grab his stats and put them up on the screen here because he is a wonderful gentleman. And as you can see, he is eagerly building his barracks here at the beginning of the game. And his opponent today, playing as the Wehrmacht, currently controlling the red pieces, we have Mr. LuckySTILET here. And both of these guys are just phenomenal players, and I'm pretty sure I've had at least one, if not both of them, on the show so far. So let's go ahead and get this game started, and we'll take a look around the maps and see what's going on here. So like I was saying, the parts of this map I love the most. You have these little choke points here, these little bridges that lead across the river. Obviously, this one river just kind of bisects the map, whereas the other one kind of ends in a little bit of a lake there. And you just have a wonderful distribution of victory points. The victory points on the right and the left, they do sort of naturally belong to the top and the bottom players respectively, or the bottom and the top players respectively. No, top and the bottom player. I said it right the first time. That's fine. I shouldn't doubt myself. And the middle is just a bloodbath. But really, they're far enough away you can see you kind of have to go out and around and just to get it in the first place. But I'm going to stop right here just for a second, pause, and take a look around at what's going on, because already we can see that LuckySTILET is up to some crazy stuff on this map here so far. Everything looks nice and normal here for KoreanArmy, but Stilet already, I see four dudes on the field. I want to go ahead and swap to his point of view and see what's going on here. So as you can see, he hasn't built anything yet. He does have 4 pioneers, and the most interesting thing, I'm just going to make sure the colors get the correct orientation here, is that he sent his first pioneer way out here to the victory point to cap this munitions point. He has not built, didn't go for his natural munitions point or anything like that. He went for the high one. Already I hear some building going on, so now he's actually building a Wehrmacht quarters. But if you remember from Company of Heroes Online, there were some pretty aggressive pyro spamming abilities out there, or pyro spamming strategies out there, where the German players did nothing but just do pioneer all game long until they got tanks. Of course, there were army items then that helped out with that quite a bit more, and they borrowed that strategy from the original Company of Heroes. But of course, the benefit to having 4 capturing units at the beginning of the game is phenomenal, and you can see here he's going for the much more conservative approach, which is just get a bunch of pioneers, but then back them up with nice support units. I'd imagine he's going to get more machine guns and snipers and things like that. But as you can see, he could come way up here and cap this disconnected point, knowing full well that by the time he's done, he'll be able to reconnect it up fairly quickly. And as a result, it's a much more aggressive way. You can see he's already coming way out here, being very aggressive with his pioneers, and then letting the second wave of pioneers get the stuff closest to his base. Very efficient capturing path right there. Anyhow, it's worth noting that a lot of players kind of avoid fighting in the middle of the map for the time being, just because this place is such a bloodbath. I mean, honestly, this entire town usually gets blown into the ground during a very long game. And so a lot of times people just try to secure their own victory point first and then kind of venture into the south there. And you can see already we have some clever barbed wire usage here. He definitely wants to keep people out of this victory point, likely just going to barbed wire off all of this as well. On the right hand side, you can see he's being very aggressive here. He's already capped the left victory point. Now he's capping the right. This definitely is classified as like a ninja cap here, because there's no way he can hold on to it, but he can certainly cap it at first. And suddenly that's annoying to his opponent, because his opponent doesn't have nearly as many units on the field right now. So spending time capturing this stuff with your few units is actually a waste. And so he's going to bleed his opponent out a bunch of points early game. Why not? Free stuff. You can see here he is capturing this point, which is going to be vital for connecting his territory back up. But he has 2 rows of... oh, is that watertight right there? I'm not sure. Maybe it is. But he has 2 rows of barbed wire right there preventing people from entering. So very secure left-hand side. Right now the Pioneers are fighting desperately, trying to hold on to this strategic point. They did manage to capture it, however, they have been shot down to 60% health, which means that the Engineers do have a bit of an advantage. Engineers seem to always lose when they fight Pioneers one-on-one, but the Engineers are in a little bit better of an advantage here. However, they still take the first casualty, even though they're both behind equal yellow cover, and you can see the bullets here just ripping this all up. And it looks like they both run away from each other at the same time, right as the machine gun gets out on the field right there. So that early machine gun, most likely just going to make a beeline up to cover some of the northern area here. We'll see exactly where he's going to go with that. But he already has his first machine gun team set up inside of the church right now, and kind of the line has been drawn in the sand. Nobody's captured the central area yet, and you can see the riflemen just kind of slugging around down here. And still, once again, having trouble capturing this right-hand side due to these pesky Pioneers out here. They are sort of directly defending this high munitions point without capturing it, and no one's had the time yet to get this victory point either. So it's still 2-0 at this point in the game, which is not, it's certainly, it could be a real factor late game depending on what the score is. They managed to get a kill here. The riflemen, however, are starting to become more and more numerous. And with that, actually, I'm going to go ahead and jump over to Korean Army's point of view and see that, yes, he is actually at 4 riflemen right now, so he is doing the 4 rifleman build, and he has 2 engineers, one of whom is upgraded with the flamethrower. So that is going to be a big ball of troops that he's going to have to deal with, because honestly, the Pioneers are going to have a hard time, even vetted up, dealing with all that unless they get some more troops out there. Likely, yes, there you go. He does have a sniper out there, so we have 2 machine gun teams, one in this northern building here and one in the central church area, and a sniper backing up. Certainly effective against infantry, but not if you're clever with your infantry, and he's going to have to be very careful here. We can see already the MG42 is firing out across the street there, suppressing a squad of riflemen and a squad of engineers, but we do have a flamethrower engineer kind of sneaking right through on this nice little diagonal here where nobody has a line of fire, and they're just going to burn down this church right now in the name of the U.S. Army. All of these Germans have to get out of that church right now, and they are just going to go ahead and retreat away there. So really just kind of a massive attack here. Didn't take that much damage, honestly. They took slight damage, but they didn't lose any units, really. The sniper inflicting the first kill right there, knocking that gentleman's helmet directly off his head, and having to back away entirely. So this is a dangerous position to be in, although the sniper is doing a good job at just kind of keeping his distance without fully retreating yet. We can see that once again this MG42 team is doing a good job at suppressing, but he's being attacked from too many directions, and now the flamethrower is in there, and before even the first little bit of flame comes out, he's able to bail out of that building, and we have some sneaky maneuvering going on here. Looks like these gentlemen, perhaps even just auto-pathing back there, knowing that they couldn't get through the barbed wire, are now sneaking around the backside. It sounded like this sniper is kind of moving around here, and we do have this heavy machine gun team out there just kind of wary of the fact that there are a bunch of Americans kind of amidst the brush. There we go, that's what I was trying to say. However, these gentlemen were able to sneak behind enemy lines and capture this stuff anyways, despite all of the multiple layers of barbed wire and whatnot, although it is a long and winding path, and honestly, if they get stuck in there and have to retreat, that can be a nightmare if your retreat path is that, convoluted. Anyhow, the Rifleman Squad on the southern side doing a great job of being aggressive and capturing. Again, now that Korean Army really is at full potential here with his 4 riflemen and 2 engineers, it's very hard for, if he keeps his army split up nicely, it's very hard for random Pioneers to do any good capturing because they just end up bumping into full rifleman squads, which are brutal. And as you can see, he even has the Browning automatic rifle upgrade, which makes them even more brutal. And just the fact that he can see that Vet 1 is already up on the snipers, that's going to give him a good indication that fuel is only going to be spent for upgrades. And as a result, he doesn't have to worry about fast armored cars just yet.
Grenades have arrived.
as I said, Kampfkraft Center is up there right now, and I just heard in my ear, grenades have arrived. So he's actually really upgrading his riflemen quite a bit. They have decapped this field point. Hopefully they will retreat soon, since they are actually being suppressed like crazy outside the base. But as you can see, being very, very aggressive, kind of trying to fight fire with fire here. Haha, that is actually what's happening, but also figuratively that is what is happening. He is just trying to outspam the guy who has a lot of units on the field right now. It is always difficult to beat a machine gun sniper-based army with a bunch of infantry, because honestly, that's what they're meant to counter. The machine gun and sniper are meant to counter the infantry, I mean. But you can see here, just look at this positioning right now. Unfortunately, they are out in the open right now. You can see by my mouse cursor, that is red terrain. You do not want to be in red terrain, especially when you have 2 machine guns potentially firing down at you. But look at that, a brilliant flank right now. Double flamethrower is kind of sneaking into the center right now. And speaking of fighting fire with fire, we do have fire being fought with fire by both sides right now, and able to burn down a little bit, just enough to kind of distract away some of these MG42 teams. But now, of course, they're just taking terrible damage. Oh, look at all these gentlemen having to retreat away here. Burning everything up. Let's see if he's going to be able to get out of there on time. Yes, he is. And just kind of, he forced him to reposition the MG42s a bit. But as you can see, unfortunately, his impenetrable wall of China here failed, and he wasn't able actually to hold on to the left-hand side at all.